rebel, in the etymological sense, does a complete turnabout. He acted under the lash of his master's whip. Suddenly he turns and faces him. He opposes what is preferable to what is not. Not every value entails rebellion, but every act of rebellion tacitly invokes a value. Or is it really a question of values? Awareness, no matter how confused it may be, develops from every act of rebellion. The sudden, dazzling perception that there is something in man with which he can identify himself, even if only for a moment. Up to now, this identification was never really experienced. Before he rebelled, the slave accepted all the demands made upon him. Very often, he even took orders without reacting against them, which were far more conducive to insurrection than the one at which he balks. He accepted them patiently, though he may have protested inwardly. But in that he remained silent. He was more concerned with his own immediate interests than as yet aware of his own rights. But with loss of patience, with impatience, a reaction begins which can extend to everything that he previously accepted, and which is almost always retroactive. The very moment the slave refuses to obey the humiliating orders of his master, he simultaneously rejects the condition of slavery. The act of rebellion carries him far beyond the point he had reached by simply refusing. He exceeds the bounds that he fixed for his antagonist, and now demands to be treated as an equal. What was at first the man's obstinate resistance now becomes the whole man, who is identified with and summed up in this resistance. The part of himself that he wanted to be respected, he proceeds to place above everything else, and proclaims it preferable to everything, even to life itself. It becomes for him the supreme good. Having up to now been willing to compromise, the slave suddenly adopts, because this is how it must be, an attitude of all or nothing. With rebellion, awareness is born.